Welcome everyone to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. Here in this session, we are going over a second part to a very important book, a book that will be introduced by one of our members, Mr. Reggie Hilliard.
Good evening, everyone. This is Reggie Hilliard from the Mastermind Book Club, here to introduce tonight's book. And the book is A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. And tonight's first speaker is our venerable Charles Peter Comer.
Good evening, everyone. In the book by Mr. Bryson, A Short History of Everything, he gets into particle theory, which talks about how we were created. It's an interesting book that describes that we are made from atoms and atomic materials. And if you are a Trekkie, you can even remember how Scotty, the chief engineer, would always say, "Beam me up." And that's something that the book touches on, that because we're just particles and atomic matter, we're really a very complex being. Did you know that only humans have chins? And did you know that humans are mammals, but also whales are mammals? But we're very distinctive from a whale, obviously. Therefore, the distinctivity of just being a human and the possibilities that you are created with are just phenomenal. And with that being said, think about who you really are and what you're really comprised of. Thank you.
You're on mute, David.
Thank you, Charles. Now we'll go to Reggie Hilliard. Your review. 1 minute.
Yes, now it's Reggie. So Charles covers some really, really good stuff. And I'll just touch on, as was spoken to, the fact that the book does touch on the existence of people, of things, of basically everything. I mean, we all come from this atomic substance, atoms and everything within that, and actually most of which is actually free space. But the reality behind it is that whatever it is that's making us up ultimately leads to the vast life that we see, from humans to all other species. And it's pretty profound, right? And if we start going deeper into this, we can start to cover other areas of science like quantum, which we were touching on just before this call. And it gets to be very, very profound stuff. Probably very so in depth that it would take many conversations to get into it very deeply. But it's very profound, as I said. So I would basically say, like, look into this book, because even though there's quite a bit of stuff, he tries to cover as much as he can in the short bit of time that he has, which is about 9 hours of book material. And we've covered the first 6 over a couple meetings now. And it's just very, very deep stuff, right? And it's very intense, not intense, but it's quite a bit to absorb. But I would just say, look into it and you can get something from it, because there's a lot that can be gained from just going through the book and listening to what he has to say.
Thank you, Reggie. Aurelia.
Hey guys, Aurelia here. So, I mean, yeah, like it is a little intense with, the material. It is, a little tough to digest, but I think the way the narrator, told the story, it was kind of like storytelling, which made it a little more digestible, I would say. And when they started talking about like the different scientists and started going into like the creation of the National History Museum and things like that, they also kind of told you like little backgrounds of Einstein and things like that, like how he didn't even get a job as a high school teacher, he got rejected, and things like that. That kind of, sorry, this background noise. But it kind of kept it science, but then also there was a little bit of gossip in there, I would say. So I found that pretty interesting.
It is very interesting. Thank you, Aurelia. That I just want to leave you with one thing. Now, well, 2 things. One is this book has a lot of information, as everyone said here, but only focus on learning one thing in the book. I mean, there are many things to learn. I heard, among everything that I heard, one thing in specific stands out, and it's that scientists invented many ways to try and come up with exact dates, with exact chemicals to give us, to feed us, to use in toothpaste and so on, that it is unbelievable how they used to use lead, how they used to use urine and thought it could be used for gold and so on. So there's a lot of details in here, but it's wild that we've surpassed that. We're beyond it, and we're still in the middle of improving our circumstances. This is the Mastermind Book Club, letting you know this is a book that has a lot of details. So stay tuned as we go over next week, part 3. Until then, we're signing off.